Sainers. Wait for a few of you to tune in, and then we'll talk about what was an amazing game. What a start to a weekend. That I think that really did shock everyone. Richmond supporters, pretty much the whole AFL world's probably not expecting that performance. The win itself, let alone the way it happened and the score that we kept Richmond to, the margin, the players that stood up. That was the best kind of surprise after what's been such a tough couple of weeks. So we'll just wait for a few people to tune in, and then we can get started. Comment your thoughts. Let me know how you're feeling. Sainers that went to the game tonight, congratulations. I'm a bit jealous. I watched it from home tonight, but yeah, that's the type of win that we wanted to see, and whether it's too late in the season or not, it doesn't matter. That's the sort of stuff that we want to see. That's what makes us proud to be Saints supporters. That's what makes us go to games every week, and to see the players just play non-stop for the jumper from start to finish. That was exactly what we wanted, wasn't it? They couldn't have gone any better than that. There were so many good players across the board. The synergy the team had with Rowan Marshall and Paddy Ryder, the difference that they make when they play together is unbelievable. You just got to watch a game like tonight. That's exactly why it's been so hard for us all season. It's not the only reason why we've struggled, but it's one of many reasons. But it just shows how important structure is to our game plan at the moment. We're probably the most structure-based team in the competition, whereas Richmond are probably not. And structure won out tonight. Paddy Ryder was marking everything. He was drifting back when we were under pressure. He was giving us an outlet kick on the wing. The tap work in the middle was incredible. And we'll go through the stats, but the clearances was just by far, the best part of the game. We cleaned them up in the clearances. And to see Trent Cotchin just throwing stupid punches, being a sore loser. He does that to us every time we play him, but it was just good to know that he was doing it this time because his team was losing. And that's what Richmond players were doing. Dusty giving away 50s. They just weren't at it tonight. And a lot of the commentary tonight on Channel 7 was about that. And that was frustrating to see. But maybe it was that they were just so shocked they didn't know what else to talk about. And they were so focused on Richmond winning. And even with 10 minutes to go, it took until Brian Taylor to say, well, they're not coming back anymore, for the rest of the guys to shut up. Luke Hodge just did my ear in all night. But yeah, we'll get into it. We'll talk about it. There's a smile for you. I was going to pull out the wine and the champagne, but I thought, well, it's probably too early. We need to back this up for the next couple of weeks. This is a very nice start, but we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. And Luke Dunstan said that afterwards in the interview, and his performance, guys. Luke Dunstan, I said it in the preview yesterday. I called it. I'm going to give myself credit there. I said it even in the podcast that this is the sort of game that Luke Dunstan will absolutely love playing in. It was wet weather. It was a lot drier than I thought, but it was dewy and kind of ugly, and that suited Luke Dunstan to a T. His disposals, 32 disposals, 20 kicks, 11 clearances, which I think was a game high. For both teams, 667 metres gained, which was also, I think, a game high. Time on ground, 87, tackles 2. He was a bull, and he kicked a clutch goal when we needed him to in the third term. A right foot snap, no less. He's not a great right footer or left footer, to be honest, but he kicked that on the run off a clearance, and that put us, I think, 4 or 5 goals up and really steadied the flow. But he was relentless all day. And it wasn't just that part. It was the fact that it looked like he took angry pills. We all played angry. I loved that. We were getting into their faces, and we've talked about it all year, that we seem like a nice team. We seem like a team that's just, we're happy to win, but we're happy to lose. But tonight, we were not happy to just lie down and let Richmond do what they did last time. We really wanted to get into their faces. We gave away some silly free kicks because of it. but it intimidated them. It got everyone going, and it was a domino effect. One player did it, one player laid a big tackle, the next player did it. It didn't just need to be Jack Steele, although Steele, I think, he laid 9 tackles anyway, which was game high. So Jack Steele, 25 disposals. Brad Crouch, 25 with 7 tackles. We couldn't have asked for much more. It's great to see Josh Battle have 20 disposals and really utilise his running capacity. But I love that we spread the ground. We really opened the game up. We used our foot skills. You're not going to believe it, guys, when I tell you, but our efficiency by foot was over 70%. I think it was 72% for the game, 72.3, which is amazing considering Richmond are a very good pressure team, so that usually lowers the disposal efficiency of their opposition. But also, we're not a great kicking team, even in the best conditions, but we did it in dewy, wet conditions against one of the best pressure teams in the competition. So that was a big difference in the game. Efficiency inside 50, 47%, that's way up on our usual, and that's closer to the 2020 Saints footy model that we're expecting all year. Hit-outs 20 to 44, we doubled hit-outs, but hit-outs to advantage was also massive. 42 clearances to 23. I'm getting a bit heavy on the stats, but I just want to put into perspective, 40 points was probably flattering. The numbers here say that we should have won by a lot more, and we had so many chances to get further ahead, and we blew it. A kick that just didn't go to a player, handball that just didn't quite hit the target, but it doesn't matter. Stoppage clearances, 33 to 17. Everything went our way. And the most important one, guys, 9 goals to 2. To 2 in a full game of football at the MCG in front of their fans with the chance to drop out of the 8. That's how important this game was to Richmond tonight. It's not like they're cruising at the top. This was a big game for them to really start their run, but they couldn't do it. And we led for 85 minutes of the game out of the 95, 100-minute game. So it was from start to finish, this performance. This is the type of performance that can really not just change the season, but really kickstart that belief going into 2022. So whether that gives us a run to make finals or not, it doesn't matter. But we know now that that's in us. And yes, maybe Richmond were off, but too many times, these teams get an outlet when they have an off day or when they lose. It's because they played bad. But this was really about us. We surprised Richmond. Maybe that's why they were off. They thought that it was going to be another 86-point drumming, and we came to play and they weren't expecting that. Maybe they thought it was going to be a walk in the park, but it wasn't. And that's exactly the sort of performance we're capable of. And that's why all of you come on here and on social media and comment and share your frustration, is because we've got it in our locker. We know we can do it. And it was just great to see, Ben Long, McKenzie, Dunstan, Highmore again back it up. Even Connolly doing some nice things coming on. And I thought Caulfield, to be fair, actually got his game going before he went off with a hamstring. So there really isn't much for me to complain about other than I wish the game went on longer, because we just got better as it went on. And yeah, it was just a perfect performance. The umpiring a bit dodgy, but I'll cop that. I'll cop that if that means we win by 40 points. So that puts us, I think, 1 position up on the ladder into 13th. But to put into perspective, if we had have beaten Sydney and beaten Adelaide, or even just beaten Adelaide last week, we would have been equal 8th on the ladder. But it doesn't matter. We made up that loss before the bye, and we've taken it to one of the best teams of the last 4 years and beaten them on their home deck, which is even better. And we play there next week. We play against Collingwood. Fingers crossed the fixture doesn't change or anything, but we play there again next week, and there's a chance for us to get 2 in a row, get to 7 and 8, and then I think we play Brisbane, which will be very difficult, but from then on, we're a chance. So it's good to build belief and to know that our system works. It's just effort, and we've got to bring it every week. So it's just great to see that on a Friday night, our weekend is set up. We can enjoy the replay, enjoy all the positive media if we get any, which would be nice, and enjoy the next couple of days. But that's my thought on it. I just really think we had the team to beat them. I think they played too tall, if I'm really getting on. They played too tall. They brought in the first gamer. That was probably arrogant. And we utilised that. That's why our rucks took them to the cleaners. They had Scholl, and I can't remember who else they had in the ruck. Samson, I don't think he played in the ruck at all in his first game. But they went in too tall. They were too unselfish. You know, Jack Riewoldt was handballing them, and he wasn't, I don't know, they took it easy. They thought they had it in the bag before the bounce, and we stood up to them face to face and said, you know what? That's not going to happen tonight, boys, and I love that. So that's my take on it, guys. I'm really proud of the team. Not getting ahead of myself here. I'm not saying finals is back on the agenda, but this is better than losing. So, and it's even better when you win by 40 on primetime football, which, as you all know, we've copped some thumpings when it's been primetime football this year. So it's good to get a win. Just give me a second. I'm just going to scroll all the way to the top. I know there's quite a few comments to get through, but we'll take our time. We'll soak this up, and we'll go through every comment if we have to. This is from Jason, Go Saints. Sarah, you. Actually, I might just... There's a lot of celebratory ones. I'll go through any that have got some questions. What do we got? Connor says, can't watch, but huge win. Only one loss for the year. Only one loss for the year to make finals. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we do have to win a lot of games, but it's each week as it comes. Darren says, Godfather called it early. He knows things. Yep. I had a feeling. I genuinely had this weird feeling. I wanted to get rid of it going into the game. I was like, nah, Jake, like, don't tell people that you've got a feeling. And even Marshy had a feeling. My mum had a feeling. A few people in my circle, they had a feeling, and it was justified from the first bounce. You know, there was something going on, and I'm great to see the players had that same feeling. But usually it's kind of, you know, false hope. But tonight it was legitimate optimism, which was good. Timmy says, my favourite part was the unbiased commentary from Channel 7. Yeah, they do love their dusty-led Richmond Tigers, don't they? Need more energy, get around it. That's from Cameron. I didn't want to get too crazy because I didn't want to seem like one of those guys that's going to jump on the bandwagon the second we have one win. I'm going to ease into it. If we win next week and then beat Brisbane, then the champagne's coming out. But we've got to ease into it. The boys have to earn that champagne. Last year it came out because of finals. This year it's going to come out if we win 2 or 3 in a row. That's when it'll come out. So much love for the team. That's from Claire. This one's from Nathan. D-Mac, Dunstan and Long won us the game. The end is near. I have no idea what that means. Kerry says, smile, Jake. Great 4-quarter team performance. It was a 4-quarter performance. Not once did Richmond look like they were back in the game. They had a few passages like at the start of the game. They had a few shots, missed them. And I think at the start of the third, they had a few shots and missed them. But from that point on, it was all Saints. So that was the best part of the game, was that for no part of the game do we let Richmond get in with the sniff, because they're the best team at that. They get a sniff, they get on top, and we're one of the worst teams at doing that to an opposition and then putting our heads down. But we didn't put our heads down at all tonight. We went to work, we were switched on, and we tackled non-stop. And that reminds me, that's one stat I haven't looked at, tackles. We actually laid less tackles than them, but more inside 50. So the pressure in the forward half was great. And that was much to do with, Max King was laying tackles, which was, not his usual go. Butler and Higgins was great to see as well. Williams says, great move, swinging long forward. Love his aggression, great return to form. And yeah, that goal he would have kicked when he took them on and he snapped it. It just bounced across the goal. That would have been goal of the day. It was just great to see that aggression, and they weren't sticking their tackles and we were taking them on. Usually we're very reluctant. We get the handball off quick because we're afraid to get tackled. We actually stood up in the tackle this week and got hands away, which was really important because that broke Richmond down, because their game is very much pressure-based. So when they're tackling but it's not turning over the ball and we're maintaining possession, well, they don't know what else to do, and that really did kind of bewildered them a little bit. It threw them off. They didn't know what to do after that. When pressure's not on for them, there's no real plan B or C. It's really plan A or bust. And that, to an extent, is kind of our game as well. But we outpossessed them. We used the ball cleaner, and our forwards were much better than theirs. Shocked, but a great win. Go Saints. That's from D. Vallis's best effort this year. 4-quarter performance. Love that. Declan says, I honestly thought Richmond were going to flog us again, but I'm glad I was wrong. And this is why I tell Sainers, don't lose hope, because out of all teams, we're capable of the worst, but we're also capable of these massive highs. We did it against West Coast. We've done it away from home a couple of times this year. We did it last year against them, and we've done it again this year against all odds. And they were missing some players, but we were still missing some players as well. Caulfield was off after halftime. We still don't have Gresham. We don't have Patton. We don't have Geary. Billings was a late out. We can't forget that. So there's a lot of players there missing, but we still stood up and we blooded Connolly, who looked good late, and Burns. Special mention. I haven't mentioned him yet, but Ryan Burns. What were his stats in the end? He was super impressive for me. 20 disposals, 11 handballs, 3 marks, 2 tackles, 1 clearance. Massive game, 250 metres gained. That's a huge effort from Ryan Burns. He's getting better every week. Thoughts on Connolly on debut? Up the Saints, it's from Luke. I thought Connolly looked good. He looked confident. He had 11 disposals. He came on late, I think, in the third. And he's finished with 11 at the end of the day. 127 metres gained. He ended up getting 9 handballs. He had 7 marks. That's a testament to his work rate. He's been on for less than a half of football, and he's already had 7 marks, and the most on ground for us was, 9. So he was 2 off the top for top marks on the ground, and he played not even a half of football. So that means that he's working his ass off. He had fresh legs, so that would have helped, but he kept working, and he found the right spots. So that's a good trait for a young first gamer to come in against Richmond and do that. Reckon Martin in the forward line is the biggest mistake Richmond has made. Way too confident from Marcus. True, but they were also missing Tom Lynch, and I feel like they needed that pressure. And to be fair, they got a goal from it. Webster, it shows what Dusty does to the opposition. It makes them so focused on him that they forget the football's even on the ground. And that's why he took that mark and kicked that goal, I think, before half-time to get their first goal of the game. But you're right. The midfield is where they were getting belted, and they didn't put their best midfielder there, and we utilised that. So that was a bit arrogant on their end, but it was also to fill the need because they didn't have Tom Lynch. So not my problem. It worked in our favour, and our mids got on top. So that was great to see. Gary says, Dunstan, well done. Mackenzie, well done. And all the usual plays, great win. Yep. It's so good to not read shitty negative comments for once. There's been too many weeks this year where it's just like, this guy's shit, that guy's shit, we're shit. It's like, oh no. This week, it's just good to get some positivity back around the footy club. Mark says, incredible win. Dunstan, Sinclair, Paddy were huge. Connolly looks a great prospect. Awesome stuff, boys. It's from Archie. Pete says, Dunstan has come back in the team on a mission, and I loved Ben Long's role in the forward line. Yep. Who got the most tackles for us? So 9 Steele, Long laid 4 tackles, Battle 4, Seb Ross 5, and then 7 and 9 for Steele and Crouch. But yeah, that's all round, a team effort. I don't know who. Only 3 players on the ground didn't lay a tackle. One of them was Sinclair, but he was doing all the running, so it doesn't matter. The other one was Tim Membry, working his ass off to get to contests. He had 8 marks, and Connolly, who was working his ass off as well to get the ball. So, we had, 21 of the 24 or whatever players on the ground and on the bench had laid at least 1 tackle, which is great to see. Steven says, well done, Saints, but we need to win next week to make this game worthwhile. That is exactly right. And I called that earlier. We need to back this up against Collingwood. I love that it's at the same ground, so we can use this as a template. And Collingwood are probably a very different type of team, and we don't know what to expect because obviously Robert Harvey is taking the reins off Nathan Buckley, so it'll be a different type of Collingwood perhaps. But if we play the same way with the same pressure, we should win. We should win, but it's all here for our boys. They bring this, then the rest will take care of itself, that's for sure. Dunstan, 3 votes by a country mile. Sinclair nearly best on ground. Yeah, it's going to be tough to pick Sainer of the round, honestly. I think Dunstan probably gets it because he embodied what it was to be a Saint today. And not the most skilled team out there, but we tried. We put our heart on our sleeve. We threw our bodies at the footy. We kicked goals, and we got to the ball first, and that's why we got some free kicks because we got to the footy first. But Richmond, they milked some as well, but we were there when it mattered. Let's go with Brenton. That was excellent. That was an excellent performance, especially in those conditions in the lead up to the game. It was very wet. Back six, superb all night, along with the two ruckmen, brought back a big difference in our lineup. Burns was outstanding. Also, a side note, the tackling was brilliant from start to finish. Overall, best game I've watched this year, putting the heat on the Tigers as well. It was great to see that even when the Tigers were in space, they were panicking. Prestia, who's usually a good ball user, he's getting it with, he's got a couple of meters of space on his opponent, but he's still thinking that he's about to get tackled. And that's the sort of pressure we were inferring on them. It wasn't, immediate pressure, but it was just they thought they were going to get tackled every time they got the football. So, the wet conditions played into our hands a little bit, I thought, which is surprising because Richmond are used to that and they play the game along the ground better than anyone. But it worked into our favour and we utilised that so much better than Richmond. We got out so quickly and we went forward of the ball. And I think that's, a big factor into having Ryder and Marshall is that our mids know that we're going to win first use more than not. And that means that some players like Sinclair, Hill, they can run forward of the ball. And when we get the ball, we've got outlets. Whereas when we don't have those rucks in, we're too defensively minded, which means we're not running ahead of the ball. So when we win it, we're all behind the ball and just bombing it forward to no man's land. This creates a different type of Saints footy. And I hope that we have both of them for the rest of the year. No more stupid injuries, because just those two, we could have injuries around the ground, but if we still have those two rucks, getting first use with Steele and Crouch, it's going to make a big difference. And if we're getting the footy into the 50 more times than the opposition and getting more clearances than them, we'll win more games than we lose, that's for sure. Commentary fucking garbage. That's from Sam. You're telling me, mate. Shocking commentary. Angus says, can't the Saints keep it going for the rest of the year? Yep, that's all we want, isn't it, Saints? We just want them to back it up. Tonight was great, but it's all about next week now. Ian says, I would like to say congratulations to Ben Long for turning his game around and concentrating on the ball, not going at the opposition player. Keep that up. He will be an asset to the club. Go Saints. Yep, that was his best game of the year. Best game for a long time for Ben Long. And it was great to see him nail Cochin a few times. There's no better player to nail into the turf than Trent Cochin. I really don't think. Maybe Joel Selwood or a Geelong, just maybe any Geelong player. But Trent Cochin, he's so entitled. And his hair, I just can't get over it. It's just so up, He's just so up himself as well. Great to see Leo Connolly get a game. That's from Colin. Let's go with Grant. Last 6 weeks, minus the Dogs game, should have won 5 of them. Kicked ourselves out of the Cats and should have won against the Swans and Adelaide. That's a great point. You look at the last 5 weeks, with the exception of the Dogs game, which Grant's just mentioned, we should have beaten Geelong, apart from bad kicking. We should have beaten Sydney, bad kicking late. We should have beaten Adelaide. It's all on us, really. And I think that's the worst thing about it, is it's all on us, but also the best thing, because if we turn it on and fix it, there's nothing saying we can't make a run for finals. We just need to back it up next week, and then we go into the Brisbane game. We know how good Brisbane are at the Gabba. That's a good challenge for us, and it's away from home. That's when you really have that ultimate test of, hey, are we back, or has it just been kind of a lucky 2 weeks? So the next 2 weeks are going to tell us maybe more than tonight itself. This one's from Blake. We're all the Saints and King bashers now, all you fair weather supporters. I bet you're pipping up now. Commentators are right. Where has this been all year? This just makes me even more disappointed with that. You can't be disappointed after that. I know it's frustrating because you're thinking, gee, where's this been all year? But where's Marshall and Ryder been all year? I can't stress enough. This really does show how important they are. So don't be disappointed, mate. Enjoy it. Watch the replay. Have a bevy. Enjoy it with your Saints mates. And, look forward to next week where we can go back to the G and watch them smash Collingwood, hopefully. Ryder was huge with his marking. That's from Luke. Sinclair bought his own footy. That's from... that passage, Greg, late, where Sinks was on the boundary getting it and turned his opponent, cut inboard and hit... I don't know, it might have been Butler or someone, hit him straight up. Sensational effort from Jack Sinclair. Dunstan, 3-year deal, no billings, and we win. That's from Grant. How comfortable did Leo Connolly look? Not overawed at all. Yeah, he looked natural. And you have to say, Ryan Burns as well. They both look like natural footballers. So the fact that, we've talked about, where are these youngsters? Where are these young stars that we've drafted? There's two right there, So that's good. That's a good sign. Plus Bytel, who would have played, but he was concussed during the week at training. That's 3 young mids there that can rotate forward mid that we've got that all look comfortable already at senior level. So great signs there. There's a lot of comments, guys. I might go through a couple more, but then maybe wrap it up. Thanks again for the stars as well, guys. Really appreciate it. I'm in love with the kicking this week. That's from Tanya. I think we all are. It was great field kicking. But that shows what happens when you present. When you run at the football and you're not just static ahead of the ball, you're moving. Even King was actually leading and running to spots. And I loved that at times when the ball went into him and it wasn't where he pointed and he wanted it, he was yelling to the kicker like, mate, kick it here, not there. So that's a great sign for King. Brett Ratton said before the game, this is all about communication. We need to order teammates and tell them what to do and tell them when there's a player on, shepherd and point fingers. We did all of that. So that's a great thing that we backed up what Rat said. So much this year's been all talk and no action. Tonight there was action. I might leave it there, guys. I might wrap it up. You all enjoy the rest of your Friday nights. I might do the same and go through the rest of the comments offline. I'll respond to as many as I can. Appreciate everyone tuning in on a Friday night when I know you're probably heading out. If you've gone to the game, tag us, send in some footage from the game. That'd be great. This will be up on YouTube as well for anyone that wants to watch the full review. Make sure you like Saints TV on YouTube and on Instagram. We're closing in on 20,000 followers. So if you don't follow Saints TV on Instagram, hit us up at Saints TV Official. Again, guys, I'll read out the score. It was Saints 9-8, 62, defeating Richmond 2 goals 10, 22. Their lowest score under Damien Hardwick. Their lowest score since the 1923, I think, or 1922 grand final. That's right. It's been 80 to 90 years since they've kicked a score like that. I believe this is also, I think, the first time in their history they've scored 22 ever. That's insane. So there's all sorts of records that have been broken. I also think this is the first Friday night MCG game in ages that we've beaten the Richmond Tigers. So, yeah, there's nothing to be upset about, So go watch the replay. Feel free to watch this review as much as you want. We'll be back in the studio with Marshy and Joycey to dissect the game. I know Marshy was at the college lawn tonight enjoying it with some fellow Sainters. So hopefully we'll get him to chat about that on Tuesday. But again, appreciate everyone tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Friday nights and the rest of your weekends. And I'll see you next week when we preview the Collingwood game. But until then, guys, enjoy your nights and go you mighty Sainers, you beauties. See you guys.